all honesty, we believe that the wages of sin and death, when sin entered this world, man, Paul talks about how it made creation groan. There was this cosmic upset that went across the world. And since then, things have not been the same, right? Pain and suffering broke in. Things that were once joined together were separated. Sin became a part of our lives. Selfishness took root in people's hearts. And we experience this in many different ways today, right? As families we have issues. Families can come apart. Violence takes place many ways. About 8 years ago, some of you know I went to live in Bangkok, Thailand, as an apprentice missionary, and the fallen world kind of hit me in the face in a new way at that time. I remember one time out in Bangkok. Bangkok's a big city, and we often eat on the street. It was only a little while after we got there, maybe 2 months or so, and living in the city. We were just kind of eating together, my teammates and I, and many of the local Thais. And then a little kid kind of came up and pulled on my shirt. And I didn't think much of it, and she had some flowers with her, and I assumed she wanted me to buy flowers for some other people. And I'm like, they're not my girlfriends, I'm not buying them flowers. So I was thinking, no thanks, and then eventually, she was kind of walking around other tables that were in this little area at the restaurant, and she left down the road. And one of my teammates that I was there with, he was from Thailand, and he spoke English really well. He taught us Thai some, and he would explain things we didn't understand at times. And when she left, he explained, that little girl, she was only about yay high, about the size of my niece Olivia. He goes, that little girl is a slave. Someone, I don't know, that little girl, she's been forced to come out here and to work all night sewing this flower. She doesn't belong to herself. She's owned by someone, and some kind of mob chain has her out here doing this. I was only about 19 or 20, and I was like, this all just kind of hit me in a crazy way. So I ran out, so I felt like a jerk, first of all, I didn't buy one of these flowers, so she has to stay out here and sell all these flowers. So I ran down the street, and I caught up with her, and in my broken Thai, I tried to talk with her and find out, her name, and I told her I wanted to buy a flower. And then my teammate from Thailand, he comes up and he's like, what are you doing? And I said, how can we help this girl? I was looking down there at her, and I was like, what do we do about things like this? How messed up is it that things like this go on in this world? And then a little boy came up at that time who was even smaller than her, and I asked, is this her brother and things? And he was talking to her, and he says, no, it's not her brother, she says she doesn't even know him. And he said, it looks like her little brother because he was following her, but most likely they were both just owned by the same person. He didn't even speak. In Thailand, they speak about 4 to 5 different dialects of Thai. My teammate couldn't, and this girl could barely understand him. He spoke a different dialect of Thai. They could barely understand him. I realized later in hindsight that little kids like this, I didn't know at the time, but little kids like this are sometimes put out on the street so that those interested in child prostitution can find them. Sex trafficking is a huge problem in Thailand. I'm just like, man, what a messed up world, right? What do we do about things like that? And the answer is the gospel. That's what we're going to look at.